Hello and welcome to Anivia, with a little assist from Initialize here on the mic. Nice to be here with you all, because today we are going through all the roster changes in LPL for 2026, and buckle up folks, there's quite a lot of them. Top Esports made big changes for 2026. The biggest departure is superstar jungler Kanavi, who's heading to Hanwha Life Esports in the LCK. Replacing him is Nayo from Ninjas in Pajamas, though it's worth noting he did start his career on Top Esports Challengers, their LDL squad. Sport Hung also left, with Feng Yue being promoted from Top Esports Challengers to take his place. And here's something important to note. Legendary ADC JackeyLove is taking medical leave for at least Split 1. Academy player Jachi will start in his place, reuniting with long-term LDL teammate Nayo. The 2026 Top Esports lineup is 369, Nayo, Cream, Jachi, and Feng Yue. They've also brought in Poppy as head coach from Edward Gaming. This is Top Esports betting on homegrown talent and promoting from within their own roster and organisation while their golden boy recovers. JDG underwent a complete transformation. They are keeping exactly one player from their 2025 roster, top laner Xiaoshu. Everyone else is gone. Xun went to Bilibili Gaming. Scout returns as a prodigal son from the LPL to the LCK, where he's joining Nongshim Red Force. Pays went to T1, replacing long-term AD carry Gumayushi, and Jor joined Ninjas in Pajamas. So, who's coming in? JDG made a massive bet on the LCP, turning their eyes to incredibly dominant mid-jungle duo of JunJia and HongQ from CTBC Flying Oyster, where they won all 3 splits in 2025, I believe the only team globally to do so. These two were unstoppable in the LCP, and they're hoping to bring that level of dominance to the LPL. At ADC, they signed Gala from Invictus Gaming, long-term superstar of the role, and for support role, they've got Vampire from Team WE. To lead this new squad, they signed legendary coach Tabe, who previously transformed both BLG and Anyone's Legend into championship contenders. The 2026 JDG starting lineup is Xiaoshu, JunJia, HongQ, Gala, and Vampire. This is a complete identity shift for the organization, and it's going to be fascinating to see if the Taiwanese imports can dominate in the LPL the way they did in the LCP. Their Demacia Cup results at least were promising, but we all know off-season tournaments aren't always the best measure of success. Now we turn our eyes to Bilibili Gaming, who've assembled what most people are looking at as a potential super team. Bilibili Gaming had a problem last year in 2025, the jungle. The team began the season with Wei, then switched to Beixuan, before eventually rotating between Beixuan and Shadow. The lack of stability came at a high cost. Their solution for this year? Bring back Xun. Xun is known for being not just a good player, but also an atmosphere and culture setter, which BLG was really struggling without last year. He will be the sole jungler going forward as both Shadow and Beixuan depart the organization. But here's the massive new signing. Viper. The 2021 world champion is returning to the LPL after 3 years in Korea with Hanwha Life Esports. He replaces long-term AD carry Elk, who's moving to Weibo Gaming. So, the 2026 Bilibili Gaming starting 5 is Bin in the top lane, Xun in the jungle, Knight in mid lane, Viper at ADC, and On as the team's support. This roster is widely considered as one of the strongest on paper heading into 2026. But reminder, we said similar things coming into 2025. Every single one of these players has been a championship caliber talent. Players like Knight in particular, and Bin on top of that, have been up there as top 2, maybe even top 1 in the world at points in their career. And that is no mean feat considering the caliber of opposition you are comparing them to. The question isn't about individual skill, especially with another world-class talent in Viper coming in. It's about whether they can mesh as a team, which they really struggled to do last year. LNG Esports is executing a full rebuild. After failing to make playoffs in any split during 2025, they decided it was time for drastic changes. Zaka, Ali, Xiaofang, Haichao, Weiwei, LP, and Photic left the team. They signed Xie from FunPlus Phoenix, a Korean mid-jungle duo in Croco and Bulldog, 1xN, a personal favourite of mine, from ThunderTalk Gaming, and veteran support Missing, who's returning after sitting out in Split 3 of 2025. His last team before his break was JDG, where he was a major part of their success in years prior, but struggled pretty heavily to find his footing in 2025. The roster features Sheer in top, Croco in jungle, Bulldog in mid, and 1xn or Ishin depending on your pronunciation at ADC, and Missing making his return to pro play in support. Rounding out the roster and the backroom staff, they've managed to pick up Coach Edgar, coming in to orchestrate the rebuild. Weibo Gaming overhauled 4 of their 5 positions, keeping only veteran mid laner Xiaohu. Out, Breathe, Tian, Light and Crisp, the latter of whom is taking a break. In, Zucker from LNG Esports, 2021 World Champion JunJia from FunPlus Phoenix, Elk from Bilibili Gaming, and Academy support Ura. They've also brought in Coach Shine from Handle Life. This is WBG completely rebuilding around Xiaohu, bringing in championship experience with JunJia and 3-time LPL champion Elk. Their 2026 lineup is Zucker, JunJia, Xiaohu, Elk, and Ura. The 2021 World Champions Edward Gaming made the smallest roster change out of any team in the league. Arn is out, and they are bringing back Lee from Ninjas in Pajamas. That's it. The 2026 EDG starting lineup is ZDZ, Xiaohao, Angel, Leave, and Parkia. Parkia was the 2025 LPL Rookie of the Year, and for my money, deservedly so. He was a fantastic addition to the support pool. And now he's paired up with Leave in what could be a formidable bot lane duo. EDG is betting that the continuity and one targeted upgrade will be enough to compete at the highest level. For those who don't remember, Leave was presented as the next great superstar AD carry coming up through EDG's youth system until some drama got in the way. We'll see whether his return to the organization where he started his pro play career can lead to more success this time around. Taeyun went to join Nongshim Red Force in the LCK, and Vampire left for JD Gaming. They also lost head coach Teacher Ma to Anyone's Legend. Their solution? Bring in promising Korean AD carry prospect About from Genji's academy system, and bring back Yao Yao at support, who has been on hiatus. 2026 Team WE. Cube, Monkey, Karis, About, and Yao Yao. ThunderTalk Gaming went hard on the rebuild, keeping only their support Feather. Everyone else is new. They're going really young this time around. Keshi from BLG Academy takes the top lane. Junhao comes from Ultra Prime for jungle. Heru, another BLG Academy product, takes over the mid lane. And Ryan 3 from ThunderTalk's own academy will be the ADC. This will be one of the more dramatic rebuilds in the league. 4 new players, and most of them rookies. Invictus Gaming faced a massive blow when iconic top laner The Shy, the most popular player in the LPL I may add, decided to take a competitive break. He's not retired, but he won't be competing in 2026. They're also losing Gala to JD Gaming, another big blow. To fill those gaps, IG signed Korean rookie Soboro from BNK Fearex Youth and veteran Photic from LNG Esports. Support Jue comes from the disbanded FunPlus Phoenix, and coaching-wise, Mafa was promoted internally while they brought in Kakao, legendary jungler and former player for Invictus Gaming, from BLG. The 2026 IG roster is Soboro, Wei, Rookie, Photic, and they'll be rotating between Jue and Mako at support. Ultra Prime had a bit of chaos late in the offseason with roster changes happening even after the Demacia Cup in December. They lost Ejang in the top, Junhao in the jungle, who went to ThunderTalk, and Baye at ADC. The replacements are going to be Liang Chen, who's being promoted from Academy, Grizzly from Hanwha Life Challengers, and Henna from the LCS. LGD Gaming never finished higher than 9th through 12th in any split during 2025, so they targeted their mid-jungle for upgrades. Climate in the jungle and XQW, the little green frog, in mid, are leaving the team. They signed Heng from Oh My God and Tang Yuan from the disbanded RNG. The 2026 LGD roster is Sassy, Heng, Tang Yuan, Xiaoye, and YCX. 3 players retained and 2 new faces in mid-jungle, trying to improve the ceiling of the squad. Ninjas in Pajamas joins JDG in the complete rebuild category. After missing Worlds 2025, they replaced every single starter. They released Doumbé and Niket, Nayo went to Top Esports, and Leave joined Edward Gaming. You heard me, after returning to pro play, Doumbé is out after just 1 year, with results really not turning up in the way that JDG were looking for. Switching out a former world champion and a massive personality and successful streamer is a big call from JDG, if only on a branding level. They have added 2 Koreans to their squad. Hoya from ThunderTalk Gaming is the new top lane, and Guwon from T1's Academy is the new jungle. Kara and Asum both come from the disbanded FunPlus Phoenix, taking the mid and ADC roles respectively. Zhuo, who played the 2025 season for both JDG and LNG, is back as support. It's 5 new faces trying to restore NIP to playoff contention after falling apart after Split 1. OMG finished last in the Nirvana group, thus being relegated to the LDL until the end of 2025. They plan to do better for 2026, and for that they are bringing back top laner Harry, who has been without a team since May of last year, mid laner Haichao from LNG, and Reo for the jungle coming from OMG Academy. OMG's 2026 roster is Harry, Reo, Haichao, Starry, and Moa. This is a team still trying to find its footing after a disastrous end to 2025. And in case you missed this bombshell of a headline, RNG and FunPlus Phoenix are leaving the LPL. Those 2 teams have a world championship to their name in the form of FunPlus Phoenix, a number of MSI titles with RNG, are 2 of the most iconic and storied organizations within the LPL, and both are gone. As of the recording of this video, no teams have been announced to replace the 2 organizations, so it's looking likely like the LPL will be downsizing by 2 teams. And that's all, folks. We have covered every single starting lineup change for all 14 LPL teams heading into the 2026 season. The first LPL split starts on the 14th of this month, so stay tuned here on the Anivia channel and make sure you're keeping up with all of the action. Big hug from myself, and I'll see you next time. Initialize, and by extension Anivia in this case, signing off.